This is to all the teachers. A lot of teachers do undermine how much impact they have on children's lives. A lot of them pay attention just to the knowledge that they impart on the children, but it's beyond that. You are their primary role model in the classroom. You're the person they emulate, they want to look up to. There are times when kids go home and their parents talk to them, they be like, that's not what my teacher told me. Now, a lot of teachers don't really factor this into their thought process when it comes to how much they think they're imparting or they're living or the values they're putting in they're planting into a child's life. A lot of teachers ignore it. They just know I'm here to teach, I impart the knowledge, and they said no. Your comments, the words you alter to the children, these words have a lot of impact on them. By the way, like I just mentioned, there are a whole lot of kids that will go home. Their mom or dad will say, "Do this." No, that's not how my teacher taught me. That means they look up to you even more than their parents at some point in their lives. Therefore, as teachers, you have to be very mindful. You have to be careful on words that you alter on people's children, on comments that you write in their notebooks, on the comments that you write in their test papers. I'll give you an example. I come from a place of example, okay? Like experiment. I have lived this firsthand. I remember when I was in, I think, from one, you called it grade 6. I mean, I was raised by my grandmother. What do you expect? She didn't go to school. So there was nothing like me speaking English at home. We're just like in broken English. That's it. Not even my dialect was broken English all the time. And so I think I went to grade 6 from 1, or exact grade 7 in some countries, I don't know. But that was from 1, right? So while in from 1, I remember vividly, and it's so clear and loud in my head today. I remember my English teacher, she asked the question. And, kids are excited. Some people are shy to raise their hand. I wasn't at the time. I raised my hand to answer a question. My hand was up. And somehow she picked me. Guess what? And she asked this question. I can't remember the exact words I said, but I still do remember the comment that she made after I answered the question. Trust me, from the comment, I can tell that the grammar that I used in that phrase or sentence was horrible. I'm sure it was the worst grammar she's ever heard in her life. And I don't think she was very positively impacted at that point, because when I said what I said, I can't remember what it was, but I'm sure it was very horrible English I spoke. And she said, I remember her comment clearly, and it's so loud still in my head. She said, "Oh, some of you, your English really begin to pinch my ears." And I stayed quiet for a bit. Do you know what that did to me? That killed my self-esteem. It dropped from where it was. I don't know whether I was on 6 on 10. That dropped completely to almost 1, especially during her lessons. That was my English teacher. And I always passed the test, don't get me wrong. But now, I never again in that woman's class ever raised my hand to answer a question. No. To the extent that when I'm working on campus and if I find her somewhere, I'll just take another direction. I just felt like every time, I was not good enough for her. Even when she sees me, maybe I will just irritate her. That's how much it damaged me. And it took me a while to kind of figure out that it was okay to try in other teachers' classes. It took me an entire, I would say, a term. I was not answering questions in any teacher's class because I was scared that my English was going to be horrifying, and then maybe another teacher could say something like that to me. And the entire semester, those are 2 semesters, I did not answer all of that was a term. I never answered any question in the teacher's class. The entire school year, I never. But the following term, I started answering questions in other classes. But in that woman's lesson, she was my English teacher. I don't want to mention her name, but I don't think she did that on purpose. I just think maybe she was not aware of how much that could damage a child. So this is to teachers. When you're using words, be mindful of those words. You can damage a child. You can build a child with words. You should correct constructively, positively. That's great. I wish you could say it like this. It would have been better. So, you find different ways to correct somebody without damaging them. That teacher damaged me from a place of experience. So to all the teachers, listen and learn and practice moving forward. Be positive as you impart your children.